Okay, good morning, everybody. I believe today's date is the 15th of September 2017, and my name is Leslie Williams. Now, this is going to be a very, very, very fast video because I'm running behind this morning. I am what is known as an organized stalking, gang stalking, targeted individual. And I am being intentionally kept isolated in this continued criminal expedition as a result of massive police corruption and their connection to this crime. Now, I pasted a tweet link in the title of this Periscope video, and it's all you have to do is take out a piece of paper and a pen and write down the URL characters of this tweet link. Then type them in at your URL address bar to bring it up. Once you bring the tweet link up, the tweet itself, also understand that there are massive amounts of additional tweets that are attached to that tweet, okay? And you'll be able to view those by scrolling up and down once you bring that tweet up. Now, incorporated within the tweet that is within the title of this Periscope video are, I believe, another tweet link that's in it. Everything that's in that tweet, press on it in reference to the links that are within it, okay? And open everything up, okay? And what you want to do is pay close attention to what I state that I'm experiencing, and then listen for the evidence, the audio evidence that backs it up. Now, what you're going to see and indisputably hear within the evidence within that tweet link is what I'm enduring along all my routes on bus stops, bus routes, libraries, grocery stores. Now today, I'll probably go be making a second pit stop at Vons on Regents Road and Arabia Street in La Jolla. I am being gang stalked in Vons. Vons employees and management will lie about knowing about it. They'll lie about participating in it. They will absolutely and completely involve themselves and play a role in any staged event that is brought about towards me outside of their store and or anywhere in it, and that includes their bathrooms. Now, you can go to Google and research gang stalking in Vons. You can also go to Google and research gang stalking in grocery stores, and you will see that there are thousands of web pages and YouTube videos all over the internet of targeted individuals of this crime, tens of thousands, okay, all over the United States, exposing how they're being gang stalked at Kroger's, Ralph's, grocery stores, Vons, Walmart, McDonald's, you name it, okay? Just research my descriptions and you'll see truth, because it's all over the internet. You know, hang on 1 second. I'm sweating a little bit, so let me just wipe my toes real fast. Now, gang stalking and pertaining to its crime, the crime itself, in reference to how the community-based harassment plays a role in it, is that they will stage and prop up any type of normal appearing complaint, accusation, okay, and then in order to dress up, in order to utilize, okay, that complaint or accusation to make it appear that your behavior is inappropriate, that it's uncalled for, and including your complaints. Now, when I say they'll use complaints and accusations, I'm talking about ones that they will stage, okay, either using employees, customers, okay, and or management, and even security guards of security plazas in reference to, security guards in reference to business plazas. Now, all my descriptions can be Googled extensively to gang stalking and then go back and research each description to organized stalking. So you can see that my statements are already all over the internet, being exposed by tens of thousands of victims all over this country, okay? And I'm not the only victim being gang stalked here in San Diego. You can also go to Google and type in Stop OR gang stalking. There was multiple victims here that I knew about pertaining to them being gang stalked, noticing them online. Sylvia Morales, Beth Donahue, Victoria Rose, Kevin Bond, who's even been on the news concerning these criminal expeditions. And there's many more. I've seen them online in reference to their YouTube channels as well. So, you know, what we got to understand here when it comes to this crime is attached to hundreds of criminal motivations. Every crime that you can think of in reference to crimes that produce money, you know, like identity theft, human trafficking, stolen car rings, you name it, okay? This crime is attached to every type of criminal motivation that you can think of. Now, when they're using businesses and universities and libraries, all my descriptions can be Googled. Do you really think that any of these aforementioned descriptions are ever going to openly, outwardly admit that they're involved in this crime and or allowing their establishment to participate in it? No. What they're going to do is actually engage in a gang stalking method, which is called misdirection and deflection, meaning that what they'll do is turn around and blame the target for inappropriate behavior, okay, pertaining to anything, literally anything. And this is done in order to provoke the target to respond verbally. It's a psychological mechanic where they will first intentionally make negative associations to themselves, to the target, by and through, but not limited to, participating in the crime against the target. Then once they know that that mental association has been formed, okay, they will then start on subsequent visits to that establishment, they will then start lodging complaints towards the target. You're taking too many napkins from Starbucks. You're taking too many saltines from our soup department and by the deli. You shouldn't be doing that. Doing that is inappropriate. Okay, and this is done to mentally bait the target by and through, because they know the target knows they're being gang stalked in there. Of course they know it, because they're literally participating in perpetrating the criminal reality. They'll deny every bit of it, okay? Absolutely. Let me just take a puff of my cigarette before it goes out, and then I'll continue. And so, one of the classic techniques of gang stalking, in reference to how they try to mentally provoke the target to act out verbally and or even physically, is to first make sure that they know, the target knows, that they're involved in the crime. Because this is done for eventual menticide, which is mental rape, where they're literally mentally raping the thinking processes of the targets and the emotional processes of the target, because they know that they have been mentally subjecting the target to psychological violence, by and through, but not limited to, propping people up around the target within the store and saying gang stalk, suck my D-I-C-K. Have any Bonds employees been caught saying that? Now, this is done because they know that women don't like sexual harassment. This is also done to remind the target that they're being gang stalked by literally saying the name of the crime that's happening to them. And by intentionally saying the name of the crime, they're intentionally, deliberately, okay, with malicious intent and criminal forethought, they're literally intentionally associating themselves to this crime to let the target know that they're involved in it by repeating certain words and phrases and even physical gestures around the target. All this can be Googled. It's related to the sensitization technique of gang stalking. Repeating words and phrases, repeating identical words and phrases. Now, they know they're protected through the police and the courts and the prosecutors and the public defenders, because it's organized crime in the system. Absolutely. Okay. So gang stalking operates on a template of harassment, staged events, which are called street theaters in gang stalking. And so one of the classic methods that they utilize against the target is to nonstop harass them, to make nonstop mental associations to the victim and to themselves, creatively through sensitization techniques. And this is done so the target will notice through their senses, their eyes and their ears, that they are actually involved in the perpetration of the harassment connected to gang stalking. And then what they'll do is, once they know that this association has been formed, they will then start staging the complaints and accusations, including propping people up behind the target at the checkout lane, in front of or behind the target at the checkout lane, including U-Scan, which is where you scan your own groceries. Okay, propping people up to be waiting to use the bathroom with the target's regular routine when they go in the stores to go to the bathroom, and or to be waiting outside the bathroom door while the target's in the bathroom, and then they'll claim the target did something like step on their foot or ran into him with a cart, and then they'll go up front and they'll complain to the management. And then the management will take its role and say, well, we've had multiple complaints about you. You're also claiming that you're being harassed in here when we don't even know what gang stalking is. They'll say and do literally anything. Now, what you got to understand here is, when you look at the evidence that I incorporated within that tweet, okay, in the title of this Periscope video, also look at all the other evidence, okay, that is attached to tweets that are attached to that tweet, okay, in the Twitter account. All you got to do when you bring that tweet up is scroll up and down to see all the attached tweets that are above it. And there are a lot of massive evidence tweets within that Twitter account. So you'll clearly be able to deduce this crime is being perpetrated towards me in the same exact identical way everywhere I go every single day. But you see, their mentality is we're part of a crime that is completely protected. So they don't care that you have evidence. They don't care about your verbal response or even you pulling out evidence. They'll deny that it's evidence. Like if you pull out your tape recorder and say, well, why are people saying gang stalking around me in here? They'll say, well, I don't understand. What are you talking about? That's the way they'll act. Okay, and they'll say, well, look, we got a business to run. We ain't got time for this nonsense. And even if they call the police will say, I ain't got time to listen to all this. The store's got the right to ban you if they want to. You understand how it works. Okay, now, and so what I do, is, and that's the gang stalking, where the store will use the customers, okay, who can even be relatives of managers, employees, and or friends, or relatives or friends of other Vons employees from other stores. Okay, absolutely. Union members can also be used, dressed up as customers. Absolutely. Okay. So they'll claim that we ain't got time to listen to all this. We don't know what gang stalking is. Your complaints sound peculiar. Maybe you got issues. The store management, the security, the police will all say the same thing, and that's the gang stalking. The stalking of the gang stalking is where they GPS track you along your routes to prop up this harassment and the staged events. So what I do, since all these little demented animals are working together in private collusion, okay, in order to solicit this harassment and to protect each other when a staged event occurs, okay, what I do is predict what these animals will do before I even get to the first bus stop that I go to for that particular day, okay, that takes me along my routes to these eventual places. Now, right now, I'm taping my statements on a tape recorder. Once I publish this Periscope video and then put it on Twitter, it will have a time and date stamp on it. If then what I predict comes true, including the tape recorder, whether a staged event happens or not, like let's say if I go into the library today and gang stalk and or suck my DICK or suck DICK or suck on the DICK is said, the tape recorder will pick it up. It'll show that it was said at a later time after I made these statements, proving I was tracked to these places, right? Well, the same thing goes to Vons. If anything happens to my bike or bike lock, if anything happens outside the store or in the store, anywhere I go within that store, okay, it will be staged. And let me tell you another thing. When they stage events, they will literally stage the witnesses. I've seen the YouTube video testimonies of other targets. I've seen the information put on YouTube comments. I've seen the information put in target individuals' blogs to this effect. Okay? Because what you got to understand, when they're staging an event in a store, they'll act like they don't know what gang stalking is, even though people in that store have been caught saying gang stalking and suck my DICK. So they'll lie right to your face. They'll lie right to the police, even though the police are directly connected to the gang stalking. Okay? They'll lie right to my face. They'll lie, and they'll ban you, so you got to suffer the results and effects of having to go somewhere else to shop, which is out of your regular routine and routes. Okay? And this is what it's all about. Just basically mentally raping you every day, everywhere you go, through this absolutely bizarre, okay, psychological mechanics of harassment, okay, and staged events, because they want you to feel mentally raped and psychologically abused, okay? They don't give two shits about running a healthy and safe grocery store, just like the library doesn't care about running a safe and healthy environment. They don't care, okay? That's what they'll say they are, but they're not. They're lying, criminal people who are engaged in felonies. Now, they'll lie right to my face, they'll lie right to your face, they'll lie on police reports in order to cover their ass. But at the end of the day, tape recorders don't lie. Now, a police officer can lie in a police report, and a lying manager can lie to my face, okay, or in court. But tape recorders don't lie. Okay, so giddy up and giddy go. My name is Leslie Williams. I'm making this prediction right now. Let's see if it's caught today being said around me. Let's see if anything happens concerning me, about me, around me, towards me, against me. At bus stops, bus routes, libraries, Vons grocery store. Okay, and that includes from the second I get off the bus that's directly adjacent to the sidewalk, that sidewalk being directly adjacent to the parking lot that is Vons parking lot, where Vons is at. Okay, and if I decide to go on UPS, which is right next door, let's see if it's caught or said there or anything happens there. Now, you can also research security guards at business places in gang stalking because they'll play their role in the event in order to make it appear the target is the problem, including their verbalizations to police if they come. Okay. Uh, 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 because at the end of the day, an additional motive of theirs is to protect the landowner who owns the land that these businesses are on. Okay. If they stage an event and then they start falsifying documentation concerning the target, concerning the event, and then the target turns around and sues them, they'll show up in court and they'll literally say, we don't know what Miss Williams is talking about. We have no idea what gang stalking is, but yet we had to ban her because of inappropriate behavior. And we're just trying to run a business within our community. You understand how it works? Absolutely. They're lying ass. They're nothing but lying animals. Okay? So at any time, anybody can reasonably, with common sense, deliberate would any business or library or transportation service want it to be outwardly known and even proven in court that they're directly participating in a crime that is directly connected to human trafficking? No. What they'll do is they'll act like they're just a store, they'll act like they're just a library, and that we don't know what the victim's talking about, and that we feel it's best for everybody's sake if Miss Williams just doesn't come back. Do you understand? They're protecting their ass. Now, these staged events are also brought about in order to produce falsified documentation, including security guard reports, trying to provoke the target to act out right underneath a video camera in the store, security guard reports, police reports, you name it. Because they got to cover, they want to be able to present that shit in court, okay? Or even because you really should research how they're intentionally staging events, and then you blaming the target for the event, and then the police will petition the target in psychiatric ward. So the doctors connected to this crime, okay, can intentionally, criminally, falsely diagnose the target with a mental disorder. Okay, they're doing that to tens of thousands of Americans all over the internet. It's being exposed all over the internet. So Google that as well. Intentional falsified mental diagnoses in gang stalking. Google that because that's how they're protecting their ass. The goal is to call the target crazy, even though the target's telling the truth. Because if you can discredit the target, okay, by claiming that they have issues, then you're trying to say, well, this person's claiming this because they have these issues. Do you understand? And this is how this works. It's also done for insurance fraud as well. That's where the doctors come into play at. Doctors connected to this crime ain't nothing but a bunch of criminal animals. Every single last one of those belong in prison. And that includes the doctors in detention centers as well. Absolutely. And jails. Absolutely. And in neighborhood hospitals. Google all that to gang stalking. So this video, my statements pertaining to bonds and the North University San Diego Public Library and MTS bus stops and bus routes, okay, and any other business that I go into, this video literally applies for the next 30 days because I don't have time in my schedule every day to make a video concerning the particular days that I'm going to be going into any of these establishments. Okay, I don't have time in this. I got things that I got to do in my personal life that I need to get going so I can move forward with them. I don't have time in my schedule every day to make a video about these lying, criminal, demented animals and what they're factually doing and how they turn around and try and claim the target's crazy. It's gaslighting. Well, they'll commit the crime, call the target crazy concerning it, and then ban the target. That's gaslighting, which is a term you can Google to gang stalking as well. All right, so Google and YouTube gang stalking. Google on my descriptions and reference to grocery stores and gang stalking. Like, for instance, why is it that you can bring up Rouse and gang stalking, Vons and gang stalking, Kroger's and gang stalking, Sears, Home Depot, Sports Authority, McDonald's, Burger King, libraries, universities? Type those descriptions into gang stalking and look at what comes up. And when you see what comes up, you're going to think to yourself, it's obvious I'm telling the truth because there's no way in hell all these different descriptions can be being exposed online, participating in gang stalking by multiple victims all over America who have never spoke to each other, all stating that they're being gang stalked in these places if it wasn't going on. Do you understand? That's common sense. All right, I literally got to go. My name is S.C. Williams, so let's see if... Also, I'm gonna also show you another thing. You see this place right here where all these leaves are and everything? Okay. If I come back to this area today or on any other day and these leaves have been taken down and or if there's any people hanging out on this property or camping out or have taken over this spot, it will be gang stalking. They may be homeless, okay? And that's another method of gang stalking. Google that. It's all over the internet. It's exposed by thousands of human beings that are enduring this crime in almost in the same exact identical way that I am. You can also go to my blog, which is attached to my Twitter account profile. Open that up. That's got massive evidence in it. Alright, I literally gotta go. My name is Leslie Williams. If I'm arrested for illegal lodging, trespassing, or encroachment, no matter who participates in it or how it comes about, and that includes employment descriptions, property owners, neighbors, kids, teenagers, adults. These criminally demented animals will literally use kids for these crimes. Literally. Because think about this. Like, say if you go into a grocery store and you're standing there, and then you go in the store, and then somebody approaches you in the store, and they're saying this little old lady in an electronic cart is claiming that you were harassing her outside of the store or in it. Or this little elderly man who's walking with a cane says that you ran into his foot. You need to be more careful, like, with your cart. Or if a mother with her infant child made a complaint about you. Because one of the main goals in gang stalking is to try and make it appear that the most innocent type of people, the most vulnerable type of people, kids, mothers with their infants, the elderly, the disabled. Why would these types of people who are just here shopping make these complaints about you, Leslie, if you weren't actually doing something? So they got to make it appear that even the most innocent type of people who would never be involved in anything, are making complaints about you because they're involved in gang stalking. So they got to even dress it up for the sake of their own video cameras on their walls. So you can Google disabled people in gang stalking, homeless people in gang stalking, how elderly people are even being used in these crimes, and even kids. As bizarre as it sounds, just trust me, Google it. Your mouth is going to drop to the floor. Because these demented animals, they try and make it appear that you're bothering the most innocent, when it's actually flipped over concerning the truth, where they're literally using the most vulnerable type of people against an innocent person, and them being the criminals that are using them from behind the scenes. That's another form of mental rape and the rape of truth. Okay? Because these demented animals don't care. They'll go to any length to do what they do. Okay? They don't care about anything they do, but they do care about being exposed, and they do care about their image being tarnished, because they know they're involved in this crime, and this crime is directly connected to human trafficking. I know for a fact. Okay, so you think about what I'm saying to you. Do you think any bank, library, grocery store, any business of any kind wants to be outwardly connected to a crime like this that is directly connected to human trafficking? Okay, people will stop shopping at their store. Okay, identity theft. I mean, how many people use credit cards at stores, grocery stores? Absolutely. How many people give their phone number and address when they're signing up for those discount cards, that they hand to cashiers in order to get a discount pertaining to their purchases? Well, if these people are directly connected to these crimes, and gang stalking is directly connected to these crimes, would you feel safe walking into an establishment like this and giving them your credit card, giving them your personal information? Are they selling it to anybody? Paybacks are a bitch, and what I state is the truth. Okay, so Google what I'm saying, like identity theft and gang stalking, human trafficking and gang stalking, and then go to Google and type in grocery stores and gang stalking. And I think you will, through common sense deliberations, be able to deduce that there's an extreme likelihood that they are involved in it. At least be able to deduce that there's an extreme that they're involved in it. Okay. That there's an extreme likelihood that they're involved in it, because thousands of people are exposing it all over online. And they don't care about being involved in it, but they do care about being exposed, because being exposed affects their business, and their business being affected affects their bottom line. And that's all they care about, period, and that's all they will ever care about. So let's see if any event happens towards me today outside of Vons or anywhere in Vons. That includes every checkout lanes, every department I'm in, every aisle I'm in, and the bathroom. Today's date is 15 or 14, 2017, and this video does apply for the next 30 days. I strongly suggest you research what I stated in this video, and you will see truth. I literally gotta go. Thank you for listening, everybody, and have a good day. Bye-bye.